Most High, there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is His messenger.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to another episode of New Muslim Guide. In the previous episode, we talked about the spouse, the wife, or the husband, how to break the news to them after you revert to Islam. We talked about conditions for choosing a new wife and conditions for choosing a new husband. If you didn't watch that, please search for the video on YouTube. The name of this program is New Muslim Guide, hashtag Huda TV. Catch all of these episodes on YouTube on Huda TV channel, and inshallah you'll be able to catch up if you missed anything. There are 15 episodes. Each episode is about 30 minutes long. Very beneficial for new Muslims. It is a program that is, specialized for new Muslims, and it provides them with the outline to follow the path, their new life, inshallah. In the previous episode, we didn't get the chance to continue on with the rights of the wife and the rights of the husband, which is a very interesting topic. So we're going to go over that a little bit, then we're going to move into our main topic for today, and that is your new life, choosing a new name. Is it a must for you to choose a new name? We'll talk about that inshallah. Then we'll talk about Sunan al-Fitra, and those are the things that human nature are born into, things that are consistent with the Quran, things that a non-Muslim does and a Muslim is commanded to do. We'll cover that inshallah bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. We have our guest with us, that is Brother Sam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me here today.
Great to have you again. We're honored, we're privileged to have you, Brother Sam. May Allah allow you to benefit this ummah, the nation of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. Now, Brother Sam, I want the audience also to be acknowledged that we have a page on Facebook called New Muslim Guide, and we want them to ask us questions, to interact with us. You're new Muslims. You need a mentor. Inshallah, me and Brother Sam will try to answer your questions. We'll try to be there for you. We will be hosting the page, so please do interact with us. New Muslim Guide, and you will see the same logo as you see on this program right now, the logo of the New Muslim Guide, so that you could follow us, give us a like, and share it with your new Muslim friends. All right, Brother Sam, wife's rights in Islam. I'm going to share with you some of the rights of the wife. But before I do, I would like you to share with me what you would see as the right of a wife.
Well, I'm lost on this.
Good, it's okay. I'll help you out, inshallah. Do you mind?
Okay. No,
Okay.
please. Go ahead.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Inshallah, we'll work as a team. So, one of the rights of the wife is to defend her. You being a Muslim, you have a wife.
Protect her.
To protect her, to defend her, to honor her.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody talks bad about her, if somebody curses her, you protect her. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, told us that he who dies protecting his family is a martyr.
Mm-hmm.
He who dies protecting his family, his wife, his parents, his children, is a martyr.
Mm.
He gets, the same reward as the martyr gets.
No.
Not the reward of a regular person. He doesn't, on the Day of Judgment, he is not held accountable. He enters paradise immediately. He doesn't have to wait those long years or days or months on the Day of Judgment. Why? Because he did an act that is honored in Islam. It's a privilege for you to protect, defend your family. Even if your wife is a Christian and you protect her, you are honored. And if you die protecting her, you are a martyr.
This is it's a wonderful thought, because anyone who truly loves their wife will want to protect her, will want to protect her honor and to protect her physically, emotionally from harm. And those are encouraging words.
Alhamdulillah. So that's one of the rights of the wife. This is something every husband needs to keep in mind. If you're about to get married or if you are married, the first right is for you to protect your wife, to defend her. Men are the protectors of their wives. Another one is to not reveal bedroom secrets. Anything that happens in the room stays in the room. The Prophet Muhammad said, Allah on the Day of Judgment hates the person who reveals his secrets. For example, he had sexual intercourse with his wife. The next day, he's with his friends, sharing her secrets. We did this and that, and revealing things that nobody needs to know. It's between these spouse, should stay in the room. And this person, Allah hates him the most on the Day of Judgment. He receives a very bad torment if he didn't repent, if he didn't ask Allah to forgive him. If he died in that state, he will receive a torment for doing so.
Good advice. I can't argue with that at all.
Yes, and this is something the youngsters need to keep in mind. A lot of people, you know, when they're like 20, 25 years old, or if they get married even younger than that, when they're 17 or 18, what do? They share their secrets
They
with
boast.
their friends. They do, thinking it's cool. Oh, you know, I did that with my wife. What did you do with your wife?
Yeah.
And this is, you know,
not good.
it's not. It's really hated, and it is, you know, it is exposing some things about her which she would hate as well.
Yes.
And the Prophet Muhammad condemned this, and we as Muslims should condemn this and avoid it as well. Another one of the rights is to not be aggressive or hostile with the wife. We get this a lot. You know, we hear news that a Muslim husband was angry, so he hit his wife. He beat her up. This is inconsistent with the teachings of Islam. If he did this, he did that because the devil misguided him. He didn't do that because Islam commanded him to do that. It's inconsistent. It is a big sin. It's something that needs to be avoided. For me to hit my wife or to beat her up, to be aggressive with her or hostile, to curse at her, to call her names, very, very rejected in Islam.
Yeah. There were times in our marriage, especially in our early marriage, when my wife and I would have arguments. And I didn't treat her well. I never beat her. I would never hurt her. But I verbally abused her.
This is before Islam?
Before Islam.
Mm-hmm.
This was early in our marriage. We've been married for over 35 years now.
MashaAllah.
And I'm not proud of those times. I was very immature. And I hurt my wife. It is something that we are all capable of. There's no sin under heaven which we're not capable of doing given the right circumstances and the right situations. And we need to arm ourselves with the Quran, with fellowship with other believers. If we have problems in our marriages, we need some way to discuss this with other family members and to be able to get counseling.
Yes.
Muslims are no different from anyone else. Sometimes there are bad husbands who do beat their wives, and this is not allowed. And it is, God condemns this.
Yes, and the Prophet Muhammad told us, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, the best of you are those who are best to their wives. The best of you are those who are best to your wives. If you want to race to paradise, you want to earn a high grade, a level in paradise, be the best to your wife. Be kind to her. Be generous with her. Know when to say yes, know when to say no. Treat her with generosity, with mercy. Be loving. Say nice words. If the food doesn't taste delicious and she cooked it, lie to her and say, this food is delicious. You know you're allowed to do that in Islam, right? If she doesn't look so good, if she bought
my wife is the most beautiful person every time I see her, and I let her know.
Alhamdulillah. Is it the truth or is it a lie?
Well, it's the truth from my heart.
Alhamdulillah. That's good. And those are the wife's rights. Okay, that is the first one, to defend her, not reveal bedroom secrets, not being aggressive or hostile. Due to time, we cannot get into all of the rights. There are more rights which the viewers could find in the book New Muslim Guide on the website newmuslimguide.com. So let's talk about the husband's rights, or some of the husband's rights. Number one, obedience and kindness. The wife must be obedient to her husband, and she must be kind to him. She must be gentle. She must not use words that may, make him get angry or curse at him or say bad names to him.
No.
she should avoid that completely.
You know, we all, as we get to know each other in marriage, know which buttons to push and
Mhm.
which words can aggravate and inflame, and we need to avoid doing that.
Yes. Another one is attentiveness to his sexual desires. If the husband wants to have sexual intercourse with his wife and she is feeling well, she's in good health, and she has the energy, she should accept that and be attentive to that. If she doesn't and she turns away from it, she would be disobedient to her husband. Except if she's sick or if she's tired or ill, she has her excuse. But if she has no excuse, then she would be disobedient to her husband, and she should try to avoid that. And that's a benefit for the husband. Alhamdulillah. Not allowing anyone in the house without permission. The wife shouldn't allow anyone strange, besides family, relatives, anyone strange. For example, a plumber or an electrician or, a person to come and paint the house without the husband knowing. So she must inform him, give him a WhatsApp message, give him a call. Do you mind if I bring the electrician today? Just to keep him in the loop so they could, be well bonded and communicated together.
Yeah, we have this joke in America about children being genetically connected to mailmen, the mail deliverer, and this is these types of informal relationships can lead to sin, can lead to sexual promiscuity. So it is important to keep the husband informed about who's in the house.
Yes, good. And another one is for her to inform him before she leaves the house, especially at the beginning of marriage when they're still getting to know each other. She should inform him, seek his permission before she goes out. For example, she's going to go to the mall to shop, so she should seek his permission. We have more rights, inshallah, and then we're going to get into the main topic of this episode after the break. Don't you go anywhere. Thank you.
There is no God but Allah. Muhammad is His messenger.
ألا يتدبرون القرآن.
One day the Prophet ﷺ came out to the companions radiallahu anhum, and he said to them, don't you bear witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one worthy of worship and He has no partners? Don't you bear witness that I am the messenger of Allah? Don't you bear witness that the Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the companions radiallahu anhum, they said, yes, O Prophet of Allah. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, فَأَبْشِرُوا, have the glad tidings, the great news as a result of this. Because the Quran has two ends to it. One end with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and one end in your hands. Then he said to them alayhi salatu wassalam, فَتَمَسَّكُوا بِهِ, hold fast to it, because you would never be led astray and you would never be perished if you're holding fast to the book of Allah. Because of that, join us every week in Quran in depth, where we recite and reflect and ponder over the verses of the Quran. We go in depth into the verses, following the ways of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions radiallahu anhum. When they used to take the verses, one set of verses after another, they would recite it, they would reflect upon the meanings of it, and they would act according to it, and then they would go to the next set of verses. Join us every week in Quran in depth, so that we would recite and reflect and learn more about the book of Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our life and to make us among those who follow the Quran and the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
There is no God but Allah. Muhammad is His messenger.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are talking about the wife's rights and the husband's rights. We did stop at the permission, the woman, the wife, seeking permission before she leaves her house. to inform her husband, to let him know, she's going shopping, she's going to the mall, she's going to her parents' house, wherever, so he could be informed, so that he doesn't walk in the house, he doesn't find her, and he thinks she's kidnapped or something, then he gets worried. So it's always best for her to seek his permission. Another one is service. She should be at his service. If he's hungry, feed him, cook some food for him, or if she doesn't know how to cook, make a sandwich for him, or learn how to cook. Take a cooking course. Be at his service. Help him out. Wash his clothes. Help him out if you cannot wash his clothes due to being busy with other things. Help him, send his clothes to a laundromat. Just to be at his service, not to be a maid or
Slave.
a housekeeper, a
Yeah.
slave. No, just to bond together,
Yes.
to serve each other. And same thing for the husband. The
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, his wife Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, she said, Prophet Muhammad used to help me in the house. He used to help me cook, he used to help me sew, and he would help me clean the house. And that is why he was the best husband to his wife, and that is why he commanded us to be the best to our wives.
I think in many cases we look upon the wife as a slave instead of as a mate. My wife and I, we took turns at chores within the house. She loved to cook. She is a great cook, and I wanted to learn how to cook, so sometimes I would practice, but we shared responsibilities.
Good. It's all about giving and taking. It's not a one-man show.
Yes.
If you want to establish a good house and have a really good family and keep things flowing, then we got to give and take. Okay, we'll leave it with that for the rights of the wife and the husband, and we're going to talk about some other issues pertaining to the Muslim that many Muslims question, new Muslims. For example, a person just came to Islam and they told him, you have to change your name. Change your name immediately. It's wrong for you to keep your name. Now, we're going to talk about the rulings on this, but I want to hear about you. When you first came to Islam, did they inform you to change your name?
No, no one did. Well, there were some people who came to me afterwards when they heard that I'd converted to Islam, and they wanted to know why I had the same name. But then my sponsor and people at the Islamic Education Foundation informed me, this is not a rule within Islam that you have to change your name. But my name was Samuel, and nobody knew what Samuel meant. Well, Samuel was a prophet. He's mentioned in Surah 2, verses 244 to 247, ayah 244 to 247, and he's not mentioned by name. But I found New English translation of the Quran, which is distributed in the Haram, and it says, in parentheses, Samuel. So now people understand my name. My name is Jewish, my name is Christian, my name is Muslim. But I didn't change my name. It's my given name.
Good. All right. Because we have some people who think that a new Muslim must change his name. This is false in most cases, with some exceptions, and I'm going to share with you these exceptions. Now, when must I change my name? When must I change my name? Number one, if your name indicates servitude to other than Allah or has a meaning which contradicts with the Islamic beliefs. Example, servant of the Prophet, servant of Jesus, servant of Buddha. This is servitude to someone other than the Almighty Allah.
Yeah.
And it's fair enough for a person to change his name because he is the servant of the Almighty Allah. But if his name is Samuel or Joseph or John, there's no servitude here, there's no contradictions with the teachings of Islam, then he is allowed to keep his name. Another one is if the name implies something offensive, such as, I'll give you an example, scumbag.
Yeah.
Some people have names like that,
Peculiar
right?
names that are derogatory.
Yeah. So if his name is offensive, then he should change his name into a more, appropriate name. Okay. Do you have any comments on changing of name or anything
No, but
related
this
to
was an issue when I first became a Muslim,
that?
and people encouraged me to keep my name.
Hmm. And you kept your name? Your
I
name is
kept my
Samuel?
name. This is my birth name, given to me by my father. And Samuel, it means God answered.
Hmm.
The El at the end of the word is God, Allah,
Hmm.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
So I'm
Alhamdulillah.
very proud of this name because of the significance it has in faith.
Alhamdulillah. Wonderful. This discussion is very, it opens up questions, and it gives the new Muslim an opportunity to, to a relief, some kind of a relief from stress. I don't
Mhm.
want to change my name. My name is John. I love my name. Why do I have to change it? Sadly, some ignorant people force others to change their name. It's wrong. That isn't what Islam teaches. So we know the conditions now when one should change his name, when you could keep your name. If your name is not offensive, if your name is not, an implication that you are a servant to anyone other than Allah,
Mhm.
then you could keep your name. If your name is not contradictory to the Islamic beliefs, you could keep your name, inshallah. Right? Now, we don't know of companions of the Prophet Muhammad who said, you have to change your name. We know that, like Abu Bakr, before he came to Islam and after he came to Islam, his name was the same. And the remaining of the very close companions to the Messenger of Allah, before they came to Islam, after they came to Islam, their names are the same. And we don't have any evidence that one must change his name after coming to Islam. So that's a benefit for the new Muslims who comply with the conditions that we shared.
Most of the questions I got about changing the name came from non-Muslims in the United States. People, after hearing that I reverted to Islam, would ask me, "Are you going to change your name?" And I would tell them it's not mandatory for people to change their names when they come to Islam. This is another misunderstanding in the West.
Hmm. Yeah, there are many misunderstandings. Inshallah, with programs like this, information from scholars, evidences from the Quran, the Hadith, when people, when we raise awareness about this and people understand, they will then, be safe from all these misconceptions, and they will know the correct teachings of Islam. Let's talk a little bit about Sunan al-Fitra. These are practices dictated by man's pure nature. Some of these practices are, circumcision, removing pubic hair, trimming the mustache, clipping nails, plucking underarms or shaving the underarms. These are 5 of the customs of nature. The Sunan al-Fitra. In Arabic it's called Fitra. Sunan al-Fitra. In English, customs of nature. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said they are 5. Now these are enjoined by Islam, and they are consistent with the pure nature of human beings. Before you were a Muslim, you used to cut your nails, right? You used to clip your nails.
No.
You used to shave some hair on your body, pubic hair perhaps. You used to trim your mustache. After you came to Islam, you found out that these are things that we must do, and they are consistent with human's nature. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said they are 5. Let's start with circumcision. Circumcision is not mandatory, so much so that if a person is afraid to have the operation done due to being at an elder age, above puberty, it's not easy. Circumcision is it's dangerous in some cases for one to do that surgery. So if the person is afraid, then he doesn't have to do it. It's okay, there's no sin on him, and he's good, he continues to worship Allah, nothing is against him. That's for circumcision. Removing pubic hair, that is to shave or trim the pubic hair in the private parts, that is mandatory for every Muslim, every once in a while. Some narrations, according to the scholars, said it should be maximum every 40 days. 30 to 40 days is good to remove the pubic hair or to trim it as much as they can. Trimming the mustache so that the food doesn't, hang on to the mustache. It's good just to trim above the lips a little bit and to cut it a little bit so that it doesn't, fall into the mouth, because that doesn't look so pleasing. You used to do this before you were a Muslim? These things that I'm...
Before I was a Muslim, I had no mustache and I had no beard.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not something I had to be concerned about.
Okay, and you used to clip your nails and do
Of
the
course,
remaining
yeah.
things. Another one is to trim the underarm hair, to pluck it. That is the best solution. It's the healthiest if one could pluck it. But we know that plucking takes a lot of time, and we're all busy with life's problems and worries. So technology does help us save time. That is the shaving machine, to shave within a few seconds and you're done. You're good to go. So that is also to be done within 40 days, every 40 days, so that you could be pure internally and externally. And those are the things that are part of man's nature. Circumcision is not mandatory if scared, as we said. Removing pubic hair is mandatory. Trimming the mustache is mandatory. Growing the beard, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said that he told us, he instructed us to grow our beards and trim our mustaches. Growing the beard scientifically has been proven to be very healthy. When you breathe, when you inhale the oxygen, you inhale from here, the oxygen first comes to the beard and it affects the air coming into you. It is more pure. It's like a filter. Your beard is a filter that protects you from some bacteria or some viruses and germs. Scientists have proven this. Non-Muslim scientists have proven this. The Prophet Muhammad instructed us to do this 1400 years ago. It's always good to grow your beard. The longer, the better. Some companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, they didn't used to let it grow so long. They would let it reach up until their fist, right here, and then they would trim what's beneath that. One of the companions, Abdullah ibn Umar, he is the one who narrated the hadith about trimming the mustache and growing the beard. He used to do that. So we're allowed to grow our beards up until here, then we could cut it. The longer, the better. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to follow Islam inwardly and outwardly. We're going to conclude with this. Insha'Allah, we'll be with you in another episode talking more about the New Muslim Guide. Thank you for watching. Until next time, insha'Allah, Assalamu alaikum.
Dark night in the sky, you cannot see a butterfly. Look through the window, realize all you see is for you and I. In your dreams, through the nights, every moment that passes by, look to the heavens, hands spread wide, thanking Allah the Most High. There is no God but Allah, Muhammad is His messenger. There is no God but Allah.